Let's dance and let it show. Yakidala, let the rhythm rain. Let's celebrate today. Yakimao, Keuli, let's come together in Akwa Ibom. Unity will last forever. Nememubleo, the beat drops in the air. Dance and rejoice. The happiness be Nememubleo. The rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom, let's celebrate as a whole. Nememubleo, the rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom, let's celebrate as a whole. As a break, as a whole. As a whole. Nememubleo, the beat drops in the air. Dance and rejoice. The happiness be there. Nememubleo, the rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom, let's celebrate as a whole. Yakimao, Keuli, let's come together. In Akwa Ibom, unity will last forever. Oh, Nememubleo, the beat drops in the air. Dance and rejoice. The happiness be there. Nememubleo, the rhythm takes control. Akwa Ibom, let's celebrate as a whole. Let's celebrate as a whole. Let's celebrate as a whole. Oh, Nememubleo, the beat drops in the air. Dance and rejoice. The happiness be there.
All right. Akwa Ibom. Ibibio Songo. Ibibio Songo. Ibibio Imani Songo. Everybody know you. Ima. Mbogo. Edward. A happy Sunday to my great people of Akwa Ibom State, the great Ibibios. It pleases God that I am able to join you today for another enlightening episode of our program, Nemembubreyo. Mekom Pastor Moino, the executive governor of my dear state, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. Mesinu Yonkom, all members of, his deputy, and all members of the State Executive Council, the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, members of the academic communities, Mpiangkom, Mbarawa Yuboikba Akwa Ibom. Then a tasang komonyememingkom then Tisong of Akwa Ibom Imaisong Ibibio. Tisong Pious James Sokon. Moi ya itongo wemo song fien. Basumam fien akama enonyen. And come Kukuanang of FCT abong Kukudano Dosen. So come back and meeting of Fenergoja join very soon. Come our sister at Bassi. So konyong gobi nemu wem section amo isisio. And come abong in Imbebeng, my dear beloved brother Yangwanamo. a stakeholder of this program. And come Samuel Edueno, me como ime ekpo, como a frefet mfondito Eden, Barawa. Ubo ikpa kwa ibo me sege mari wana ke programa mineme mbubreyo. So mbo ado program for kwebe mbo banga te fuketu before for read up yes ben program indi ke inyen ke tembo ke usaka we dok bet bagato do ekane ni ekba utong ko senyini nam guto yiniem. So a person with no recorded history may face discrimination, challenges in terms of identity, documentation, and access to certain privileges or services. Without a documented history, it may be difficult for them to prove their identity, citizenship, or qualifications for various opportunities. So, not only that, they may encounter obstacles in obtaining some official documents, assessing education, healthcare, employment, or other essential services that often require a documented history. So now for the young two, by force and fire. So additionally, the absence of history could impact your ability to trace your roots. To understand your heritage and also connect with your past. Very important. And then overall, I may believe that if you don't understand your history, you may be lacking a documented history and can present practical and personal challenges for an individual in various aspects of life, especially when it's a election. So, everyone boba. So, mfuna mi yesen ya mimbo ya discuss. I work as a koyemi mfuna miendo. Arojine Ibibio and Afuko Pico Ibibio. Come Fanaba. Tongorikbe. I can email you Ibibio dictionary. You are from Ibibio, but you cannot understand your language. I don't blame anybody. I don't blame anybody because Mbonyineke ignore this language and then Nyedom Fanaru. So, Riake Ntogo Inekboneri. Yang yoning ma dayang ngo buzuma inkom ya min to kom fieno gameda ugat mo no fon me go ma go go ma uno no ta sanga sanga kom Mary Charles Bassey yes so yen de wang fon ndi to akwa ibo mo fon on dum mimi men zai si da dia gan song bo me ya yan dum sai ika pe yung indok ay tuk ado tong do yinuka gizim vremi yen mago ndogi ri yawa wo aha mvenem ye mai bu hallelujah mvenem and the joy tem so I te tup ke mene tup men so I yung bo boro men mer yung mai na maru. So social organization of the Ibibio tribe and some of the taboos. Well, young tongue okay, kinship, your family structure. Ibibio social structure is based on extended families, known as ekpuk. Now, siginam no structure ekpugum aba awam eke sieng wana di maintain idabaite afuke wotu. So yes, in that structure ke wori. So that for the young ke siguri ekpugodo your extended family or families. You get to ekpuk. Now in ekpuk the core unit of the society. Like I have said, ekpuk is mainly composed of members of the paternal family. So the descendants adodo trace through the male line. So yes, a form ekpuk. So because they believe kawunwan ayanyong odo ibe, ayong ka ke form ekpugomo kukanga ebe. So mbamekbaba is okay jangdo fusini to go yen zong zem men zem ke aha. So that is the male line. And each family is led by a head called the family patriarch. Obong ekpuk. I was a company and double game moiko pico ibibio. Fugan song and amse musemedu. Buzon amse musemedu. Sia eme ekpo sinu yo como afre ekpo go fang forunno because ekpo kitangami. So now we move from ekpo. And this ekpo, young bomfendo, the family head Ado in charge of manages the family land, wealth, and not only that, the rituals. So now Ado work at the young kentum, because endemic because yaba at the young son they make book. Because each family and I and them. So ba book. Ado a benefit a heritage and yet a composed of the land na the young free courts sigbo do inie utawak beraka and yebi the young settle and neng medang got kekbugomo. So the wealth do isong ogama wealth, meaning that membo modoki song oyup isam bakara yeah so make bogo ni ege samong. Then abam fanaba. So mfana nye don't discover mfanim. So from the time of the Bible, and seeking am no abasi adoban the choice well as in Babylon or abo moge yaike sab for 7 years. 70 years. So Adam boy kesiege the culture, the tradition kesiege adida record the fallow land. Eda record the iswa itiaba. Before ndoni tem esinikang denideme and members of the family. So obong control. If you look at the Bible, bottom Moses the and the more I go deep into history, with my findings, I may be forced to believe that Ibibio Edo Israel. Musenna ma bin dibenenyero ndi. Ideme yauk bafian ediko. Because everything written in the Bible, I will do the comparison of Kenyan from Bible to the struggle to the suffering of Ibibio people. You will discover. And secondly, the Ibibio, Edo the most ancient of all tribes, Kefrika. In fact, Egbebi down nearly the wall. Hana, Mbom Katem Funambang Ibibio. Nsong kekere memba tang woro wobet. Young mommy dem kanga. I am excited about it, but yet I don't say mommy them. Because I'm in Bokondikat Nagisidari Korodu. Then after 7 years, afre wiki temi Korodu. Esni kang den e wuribut ki Korodu. Afre wika item ni dia kororu, idia ma share, itombo, kesenyen mbiam, ake kentangaru. So now, I will come deep on that. And yet, there will be a revelation, expository. Now, the liar unit called clans. Because my work, ekpuk, a bidok boy kuro, efak akono kanek. And after efak, a bidok obio. So, consider relationships control mpom. How do build from different extended families through the years? Adoik Mike Bunikan, Emadik Bun, population, and you separate. Ekai Fijin place, Eke Temitieru, and you form another ekpuk. So now, am I been ekpugonyeru? Edian ye ekpugomfen, Edian ye ekpugomfen, Edian ye ekpugomfen. Ekpugberum pot, ekpug ichioke, kemoido, and Kufred that they are the same kindred. So moya itone a fact. Ebido a fact. Now, am I moved from a faradu? The same ancestral line, which can be counted from millions of years, a reform, even edi some villages, that makes up the village. All together makes up one village. So at that level, so now they will have what is called Obongefa. So Obongefa are superior to Obongekpuk. So Mfanakbeba Kekpuk that Obongekpuk me cannot control. Aya Benekedoko Obongefa. Abuki code member Ekpuk Mfen Idian Idemiti settle Mboro. So if you what the government, the organizational structure, the hierarchy, Ibibio government again here. Now, for me, give the member system can back at even in young mbiam. So come up and come and win for Bonium Bame with Singison is Okikaru. So now, at that level, Akbekara Obong Efa, Aya Benedi Bene, the village head for intervention. Now, the village head is also reporting to another head. The head is called clan head. And so the clan, Ado, a major of different villages, maybe up to 5 to 6 villages, under the control of another chiefs. Ebrikoronye clan head. And then, when a clan is up to 6 or 7 or 8, if you merge the clans together, then they need what is called the paramount ruler. Now, the unification of both clans and villages in Barikong Riba, Mbangu Woto Riba, marriage or marriages. This plays an important role. Okay, let me say central role in uniting families and clans with elaborate customs and bride price negotiations that reinforce the family bonds. Ibibio. As a couple game, Iko Ibibio mi. Mukbono mfene usene vendi na maba. So uh, Ari nam no nitian se mucho iko mbakaram. Amigir waka. So yang nam challenge se uno. Akpero make up sen jang mi ubudi yang ekpuk for type seni song ro nonget. Min tong ekpuk. Mau type ekpuk for ma. Type fak idong of togo ise. Mau type fak idong of togo. Type anyang bium for ise. Then send you good local government frame. Ajero se paramount ruler. Arieri kara. So now, but I'm young far for Togo. At the young far, at the young village food. At the young local governments and this. So let us continue to Yamani Kaiti of villages. So now, in the social structure, can get Quengeru. Baru Bumbame, Sengas on Tangaru, moving from ekpuk to a social structure. So the political unit often shares a common ancestor. So you can get in a larger portion another patriarchs. Patriarchs. Tepe muso. Mebokibani wanakemi because the share of a woman yebukini ubonomo ado kukang ufok ebemo and yainemen nemi bangaru because nowadays about riwariban yinekaki inekaki manang boro banturu ndi ogena bi boro mo egbe kane boro utomba medo yedogon nam ibani ki jogo mbosenga mama ndiket ken shemi yendufu. So let's go to the village and community. Ibibio communities are typically organized into villages of Ogoronye, Mbiam. Madam, get some of you. It is okay that Kumugoro villages Kebi Goronye, Mbiam. Young exposed boy warden wufu. And happy at Dow, about young Mubrayum. And then these villages, at this level, the villages are autonomous. It functions like a small republic. And with each village having its own leaders and covenant systems. Secretary, sorry, the same structure, and secretary. And then the executive council of the village is made up of all members ekpuk. We are member EFA. In addition to that, elect a Wekoro, a Tuwam Barawa. And yet, election, the entire body, village, be met. And yet, so, on the side of the women, Iban Bongo play a role, young organize Miban according to the structures, kinship and family structure first, then village and community also. So the village council, like I have said, made up of family heads and elders, maybe manage the family affairs, settling disputes, managing lands, and overseeing ceremonies. Okay. So the leadership positions within the community will include the village chiefs known as Obong or Itubum, whom or who is chosen based on merit, wisdom, and influence. Or akedo in inheritance. that there are a certain family, a control such such a village. So clan had a community political structure in a rotational basis. Then the paramount role as a rotational among villages that makes up that very clan or council or so in let's talk about the secret societies. In Ibibio political, social, and religious life, the most notable is the Ekpe society. My brother, I hope you are listening. Ekpe. And that is paramount in Oran now. And some other Ibibio North and I think Ibibio South. Ekpe. So, and that led us to Egbo. As the second most powerful. Patience, Udeme, you are highly welcome. So, Egbo society, very, very important because the members of Egbo society were acting as enforcers of community laws and customs. Unfortunately, we go culture. Because what you see the police doing today, and it was so dreaded and so fearful. Yang se Boris se Kembam Vodo. Mary Charles Bobo Avoto ekpok nong yang keke fa Indian keke bu ekpok nong yang. And that will, by the name nong yang, that will lead you to a on digido so because in Yangadu, I believe, one of your great ancestors. So the Igbo were the enforcers of community laws and customs. The society is associated with ancestral worship. Bam. I am speaking this English so that you, my brother, who is telling me you are not hearing Ibibio, but you are an Ibibio son, will be able to hear. But after today, I won't do this again. So you need to drop your email and I will send you what we call Ibibio Dictionary. Library, New York University Library. And so I would like to send you an e-copy. That will help you. So, Ekboikedo enforcers. Da. Oniam fana kebio. By then. Oh no. I don't think. Ke work pa award young them. Apanyam make boda nonye. Da. I mean, I don't know how many of you will agree with me that Cape Police is somewhat to do. Oh God. Make it Kenyan. And I can proudly testify to whoever is listening to me that Cape Police is somewhat to do. When Ekbo was in government, when Ekbo was in authority, when Ekbo was in power as the enforcers of the community laws, that police, Ndove kamikang, ekpo ikikamakikang. Maybe that was the reason ekpo got dreaded and fearful. And it was so dreaded to a level that awungwani debe that is a fro ukokoke window debe use. Because makeup, one of the enchanting songs, and it is, I tell you the truth, Iban si song would and I'm out to a sound me the better manic buru, who better in Europe. Because you can't hide, woman no table, you have to make sure that section of an inspector of police. I go to and never all the enforcers. Ebony kid. And AI wam boy AI tom. I'm telling you the truth. I'm not joking with this. AI appease the land. The sacrifice. And the woman sometimes AI been the woman a war somewhere. I could wear the and the kind of cleansing. We cleaning it and to tell you but I can tell you honestly, in the process of even a town enemy, before it do show kidemi kongi wouldn't dismic but unene ke kamake web do it web and yidem do issue a federal board unene do ba. Oh, you the youngest wood. The youngest wood. And another thing I would like to say, unene do we tara. I will get out on another. It ought to work. All right. If you have any question, you drop. Sorry for yesterday. I was extremely busy yesterday. My apologies. I want you to keep my ETM bong. Kawa iking kate. Iki yareset. Kayasan bomb yeru seniba. Men do kosa today. Min do konyeke Sunday. So nye sa mengero kompong. Yes, I'm in Boyang. Ben Bossem Benam Bong Yem Funem. Namokit. So H grade. The Bunga. Mboma Quang Yero. Very many a kamba around you. Kakaba Tumba Mabam Bon Tangaru. I can say Kuru Punka. Akaba Tempom Bren to go in. But I can tell you of a truth. Kek Bunka sound Ruititi. Adam Boga sound. Age grade. Marion saw we say our neighboring communities. Mbona meeting ikon yaket Kenya age grades. Age grades sigisi namdia. Another name for age grades, Ibibio language, sigisi kuru moide. Okay, and so Tom boy we tepekini wo me cleans ke wo wana seri guru. Yes. That's a very good question. I want will me clean schedule. I have passed through a lot of hardship. Kuwememo. Anyandaba moya dio yiti. Then I see a man in here who don't see them. That is no matter saying dia. we could take it more. And then yang si could night boy bepene monko can up. Then mana si could na so in about a yemi but then he can never read. So there are so many things involved, but few can jangaru. Then so in here could now my yum made up can up. All those things are sort of signs that care in the memory to go cleanse. And I'm that cleansing. So those kind of things might have effect today, but but with my kind of research, appeal no kanyin mbo KCABU a woman nam ke frenyen ke walk or young walk ke frenyen ke nam. And so many things are hidden. No one am funemi. And a mama boke in Yagasiba. I do Jesus me and him a mono song. So mbok when I am a so what mean I'm this cleansing? I be ben the so and the so invariably ayake kene ayake bege bemo. Ayake bege ebemo. Because there will be a reduction in the family wealth, health, the managing of team Bezile. So many things. So that is a few. And then get time compound age grade. So each grade, I'm here maybe I'll get you to them. So each grade is responsible for various community duties, such as security, construction, and organizing festivals. In fact, sanitations also. So the age grade in Barawaidong, that's their responsibilities. So from one age grade to the other, then you get to a certain rank. And in those days, Akubu wa Kenka, I think Kenka mvu greyem. Of course, ACN Amusoro move from age grade to another high rank or gaining more respect and authority within the village. So from one rank to the other. For Babo cleanse, does it mean that all the children she will have must be cleansed? No. The children so automatically so when the mother is cleansed, automatically the children are fine. The children do not have problem. It is advisable that I believe that even till today, a pregnant woman should be cautious of even movies. Say watch. People got care watch film. Then you don't like horror movies. Because what your eyes attract to your body, often scary dreams. Because your eyes may likely invoke those things to you. So even a mere wouldn't. I say horror film. You don't table we can say. So those are the kinds of things. There's a Bible one. Ya say anyen foket. So saying I could attract that's in Gubong. So Ubong do the catch way to the soul. So the only thing for Kadanyan fu a connect self into your soul, and yet transfer of you. So in reality, aneka fun of tune yourself to seeing those things that are wonderful, exciting, and all those things that can prosper you spiritually. Not this is some film you need a come all those things. All right, thank you for. I don't know. My explanation me don't mean anything. Oh, I'm feeling it. So, so let us discuss briefly taboos. Consider taboos. Taboos or itu. Tai ko ibibio ko rin itu. So, these are morals and cultural rules that regulate our behaviors. So, violating these taboos is believed to invoke spiritual or communal punishment. So, you don't that safe. About taboo or commit, you don't that. About taboo or work commit, you need again. About taboo or work commit, you can know one, you know. About taboo or work commit, you can never, you know. And you only can is an echo unless and you confess such a taboo to the council of elders. A taboo. And in such classes of taboo about, like, okay, let me start this way. Let me start with ancestral taboos. Ancestral taboos. And yeah, go mamana. To mama no di. Amamana di those things say taboos. Ibibio people believe strongly in the worship of ancestors. That's why I'm going say Mbagarido Ibibio, Edo Israel. Israel and Yiniko Podoga Bible and Bakaredi, because some Bakaredi were me. And Israel and you forget them in front of me exist. Me to go that Israel. It was Israel and by a project, and it on 1946. Yes, and go make Pakistan or Palestine, Yakam Moy Boyman. So, Miriam Bakari, the only upon the Namajiti. Then, do you remember Ketandi to Israel Bible? Afraid was Sikikba, even Esau, even Jacob, even Isaac. All the years, I'm more sang Egypt, ever been a free book, a boy, you know, the Kamesanga. Ever been a book. Often meditate more. So the Ibibio people believe strongly in the worship of ancestors and the spiritual forces guiding their lives. So disrespecting ancestors, neglecting to perform ancestral rites, or violating sacred spaces associated with ancestors are considered major taboos. That's why the andro ito you know break it you so gura it you so toricum una mutom por break mi brembre the thing is akaibo kakabado itim bonenem so ga ye na so brembre ke udiemo. And so another thing should know about ancestors sekedu. Ibibio ancestors were the only source, or should I say sources, to provide protection. And disrespecting them can bring misfortune to any family, or any community. I don't know how to maybe can explanation. Now, I don't know if I should bring the Catholic Church into this because I love the Catholic for respecting those who have died. I love the Catholic for this. They call them saints. The Boca Catholic Church, maybe by 12 noon or 12 midnight, you know what is called Angelus. May the soul of the faithful departed. But the if you're Catholic Church, they respect Mbonzima Ikikbangaku 8080. Now, Ibibio People for example, when I was living in Uyo 1986 through 19 maybe 88, 89, a friend, one of my friends, and so and you know our kinds of friends in secondary school, and so we couldn't help much. And after Vanama to Ayuriti, a Kamba Wokori Koronya Abonya Yangerika Itien take Amona Aka Itien Tekbu Ekamona Yaga to Ayuronoika Aboke Moido Ikboyan Mbok Kikimamani the culture of burying people in Oidongidia Mbok Can you swen Nemo Kemoyonido a woisu a Yen young woman. So yes, you song in oimo. Ya my book. Nye mba ngpondo adiba. And kikot kid again young oba ke ema in the miko gisong. Hete come rain come shine. Ke wanyami kororu. So kiba usong fenaba. Mary on after 2 days. I wang poke rimburu mi amin kati yakamin ndo anakumentator. Ikan ni yamin ero work with on the fang iko bufang am boy di wang ini. Ma di tell you what those people medaka. Mary on fana made Mary. Akere Mary. Ima itang kong warawu. Itang atang silo because they know yem bet. So after I'm going mama kiri kuanga bo ki kire kaimo. Kaimo di benemo. Akai tie siegebre coupon meu. Aka emo ikan nom by tune. Ikai bo emo. Abo kiba wo bo ikan wam fin. Ku kwen usong. A fo bo ikan ibo remodum. Kese bi nam. Ayake ikabi sebe yup. Ak bekemboro yu kom siba. Akaurwa kenyam. Sekoko furu niye. Ke fetse fubi namaru. Benefre kokodu. Budi yon ke nangay brensam. Kai tie fukete nangay bwere kukbokom. Ke no fre kokodu. Bo wo ba aro ya bruno. Ufan me yon di. Anyon kabinu asay ke buka siuyo. Mfene mi me di yon me wo by jangin on me wo. Daddy says engen me. So fanaro ma akbono fen betse ka no ye. Akenyam ukom mboro misebe yupsege kanaka and come funny somo. I miss I believe ke ka mosio. I come back work at ke village. Abi di frokre nyete oh da. Me ko ku kagba a break. I wind down moto abara ko asiono nye benefre ko magasinen sam. And now Ekabrensa ke car road by Ukana Fort Street. Keke pool house de Ukaba a car road by Ukana Fort Street. And Bonege Siege Barak Beritier Kamidi Yonke pool house and there was a courthouse ke car road. There was a courthouse by that place. And that opposite was Ormen the Yonga number for him. That opposite there was a pool house. Just close to that Ukana Fort Street. In between. After that, if we walk by church, maybe primary school, something like that. So, and then it take a 8 draws on coupon. My dear brothers and sisters, if I want to this program, that's why I must have the pool house. Opposite that customary court by a car route before Ukana Fort Street. There was opposite Agric feet. There was a pool house there. And they get near 504. All these things. And sorry, brothers and sisters, and that is why it pleases me to tell you that Kusagadang said, Urubuke Jesus, Akebuke those things about Nakedo particular about the Bible. Keba those things said, even Jesus, that's a make because he went and called seven for him. It's like our own black people, they go quarrel, you fro. Eke kworo nye more than a dumba kare kebe niko bazedu. In fact, he kworo eke senpo and make it. And so if you violating taboos can lead to spiritual retribution and ostracism. That means I make a meeting for it because of the violation. And secondly, violating these rules, yak afoni ukbeme me uso so get you ukbeme fiendo. Maybe okay. I may see a cop that Ukukan Anambra State, idemili precisely. Ukukado Senewu eya udo coffin ke kono yo ke urikot ayakere sabo keyword bedenfu. And nanga sabo udo perfien. And when them no, you wouldn't food it, okay, sabomi. It is something that you will never understand. But mau them me kuno yokwedo ka just mau yemiko sentangami ufa baseba ke ne we not. Bu yemiko semin song tangami. But many of fan kenam brasted at to idemili and ne we not ka kena ken ne we bukate sabo. Now I do welcome Fienne Kuno you. Didn't come in but shut down this program. Because I did do welcome Fienne in the Senegal. Una mambo. But very rough, yeah, welcome. And then a happy Sunday also. From my own part of the world. Okay, patience, and I'm the young. So you can type that. I want to hear now, and I'm the And so, your ancestors, your ancestors, any the duty of protecting you, providing for you in this physical planet 8. The Ibibio tema itom demidon, udia siedok. Eboke tie ekpuk, asieda, abereyen. A Sabo man welcome, one of my auntie. akeka umoku kenamra. All right, that's good. That's good. So now, for my would work your tradition, would work custom, take a Bible, Bible, how deny and when the day comes, because Bible, the interpretations, and the truth is, a very important who can interpret the Bible accurately. Wrong interpretation of the Bible is a problem of the whole world. Wrong interpretation of that book. So, all right. Our ancestors provide protection to you. They provide wisdom. They provide wealth. They provide wealth. But whereas family Ndufu, it destroy everything that has to do with your ancestors. It's a pity. Your family will wallow in poverty and sometimes pains. I just want you to hear this. And that is why a woman that, let me cite an example of a woman. Somewhere in Makodi, Benue State, ayana kwa ibu. Eke of one church, I mean, meke siye no ukot, kai, ye, a freven boro kitiendo. And so, the husband, as a member of that church, so, it take a bido, Fanta, malt, everything. Yung ay tayo naman, pero wakere da kada. Abo mo, soibo kino, even class. Akai. Ay taga wino. Ay taga, itero da ka. Tutu yun na wana do mema bao, memo wema bao. Tutu amari some 60, 70 years. Igini yaga yun. Because it was violated. There are different types of taboos. Yeah, it's okay, guys. Say, oh, member bong program Saturday next week. You need to continue because I don't know how many people are here now. So I need feedback. I need feedback. I forget we say shimemme, and most of these things being that I am blessed to come from the throne, the ancestral stool that knows a lot about the Ibibio people. That is why I forget me. You see my brain with Ibibio. Even if I get, I know who you are and I can tell it. So, all right. So the taboo here is the neglect of your ancestors who believe that another ancestor abirud young fien and yet the complication a very serious complication. Okay, you neglected your ancestors, you violated their rights, you deprived them of more handover and now you hereby they introduce you to a book. Then if you now begin to call another person ancestors, the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, oh, abasi Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. My question is about Obama. What about the God of your fathers? And a long ancestry, Abraham and and here about I had to use Jesus, I defend them, but whereas I am going to go Jesus. There was no J, the letter J was not in Hebrew. Joshua Amasiah was never J. So it was never a thing that is calling for acumen. And the more now for Basi Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, I saw young Fiawo. Every day you keep calling. Because you have left your ancestors and you are now calling their own. You now uplift their own. So the community say, And I'm fear will make me near bo. No, you need to do it for no more. Imagine who gang the yok to what was send it here, Gabio one thing going on the foot. Who would have done this? And here Gabio, okay, Nigeria. Before this born again church is a word in the 70s, and you say Nigeria. Part of 80s, and you say just because that time, I was born again, born againism, and may we mind them. I took it to Timbo, it you meditate more on all those things. Okay, so, all right. Right, I have a lot to say in this, but let me cut that part. Ancestors are taught to provide protection, they provide wealth to their children and grandchildren, and to disrespect them can bring misfortune to the family or community. So, we were telling you, no, forget about that marriage. We go, no, so some boy table, boy take, boy take. Let all those things be given. But do you know that generation, the tomfodo, after you left this world, what will continue to happen to them and their generation, the generations yet unborn? Is a question I'm just asking. 2, taboos surrounding death and burial. My brother, I hope you are listening. You make me to speak English today. I'm still speaking. Ibibio People program. Burial customs are highly regulated. For instance, certain rituals must be performed when someone dies. Bam, and failure to carry out this rite is a serious taboo. Let me quickly explain this. My Ibibio people, intelligent people, so much intelligent. So Jara work and find out first. Cinema family. It was a must. So some magazine in those days was the organized bed. It was a kind of scanning, spiritual scanning, just to find out cinema woman by be book there because this person has cerebral, this person this person I can hear accident. So I could come in there. So am I saying I'm got another thing that you should know that maybe Mbonsito Anang, can testify of this. AI Korupang would Pebo Calegos, AI da somewhere. Ibibio me Korupang wood. Eben Upang wood, it put the FN Ebre ban, celebrate Upang wood or the dog. But made your own need for about Tom body says in comments. Because I'm a mere witness. My witness, Koboro Kara. Ekoro Parawa, Kedaki Korikbene by Secretariat. I walk a bike. It was terrible. It was a terrible thing. It was a terrible thing. Then when I observe Kate Young, am I get from a young and yet a move? A move, a come a bike, a move. And then make a place, the next place, is it in Tonda? If you could. Nyamana the only way move to a car. I come on in. I come on in and I see them. Amara would yamor to bunen a race and a bike and then Gassina Roden. Ebo on Yakumi, a Kurupom from a Tekaba. So, all those things, taboos surrounding death and burials, our ITT. So, because, about all right. It's a taboo to speak ill of the dead. Na peme na kuni ko ye woke rimbo tanga ba guwem. Pero mau ket ka woro pa siyong idem ba yon yon yaka. Kudaram pa. Awo baba ket. An individual that is alive today must refrain from certain activities or words during the periods of mourning. You know say tanginwa. One year woke about wem yefu. Please don't do that again. Now let's say certain animals, particularly the python, are considered sacred and killing them is forbidden. in so many areas, as they are believed to embody the spirits of ancestors. Bakara bofian word but ukudi yabion tiagame. Some animals they do taboo me. They are men for me. Some animals they do taboo me. Okay, let me say this. Mbakare yai word for frunam sido tabu in on the fokeri wo America me take word eagle. I want to tell you who send a word to eagle kebium. America sentence fian to life imprisonment. Keri word eagle. Then pay fine of about $10,000. Baba wo anywhere. Baba wo who would do nama kereke eagle ke America. Ekamikal enam somo is a taboo here. Agobero. Uwoto. Uwoto. Then a more my idea if you know what can for. Do for you compare all these things there. How long can what young Ibibio? It is young mufu. Muso so gets able. Can young bakara igiton can anyway, young born here. So animals, there are certain animals. Mina atita. So, for example, in a quite abantimi guitar, abantimi guitar, a sabord, abantimi tara, a youth, abantimi tara, unin, abaitium mitara, adwa, abaitium mitara, ebion. There are so many according to families. And I think you have create part 2 of this program. There are people in Mitarawa. America here, you don't try that. You are right. Thanks for reminding me that you don't try that here in America. It's a taboo. It's a taboo here. You don't try it. I went to the court to do something. Court, one man young combo. What brings you to the court? At the anyway, let's leave that for another day. All right. Taboos in marriages and relationships. It is a taboo to have sex with your sister. Anybody, anama, uton disemedo. You cannot even marry your sister. A family I saw them come on here. I might have made that of the Tormo again. They became mad. They became mad because they have the same blood. And blood of murder are a highly concentrated madness. Madness. Even more of I. So they are it's a taboo to see your brother's nakedness. It's also a taboo to even see your sister's nakedness. Not accidentally. It's not a good one. Don't try it. And your auntie. Auntie, you don't have to try that. You don't have to try that. So, incest, incestuous relationships are strictly forbidden. Yeah, no, Ibibio dictionary. But about what meaning Ibibio dictionary, you can ask me. I can forward you a copy so that you can. Some of you make idea on Ibibio dictionary more. Most of you can just drop your email and I will send a copy to you. So if you have requested for anything, keep reminding me so that they can and then marriages within the same family, highly forbidden, or between close relatives are considered taboo and would attract punishment. In fact, in the days of old, your ancestors will banish. Because so there are also taboos around marriage rituals. including when and how certain rites are performed. Violating these norms could bring bad luck to the marriage. Absolutely. That is why akpo song sa song ko yag ya wode ne bo ke mo ina mam kondom fu ya nam na ni emem ku wem ko ya itre dinam ba pero me ya me ni emem ku wem. I repeat again, ko yak awode en baba ket aro do ko fien ke ba ko ba se mo ko ke do wan kem fon mbok agbero ba ufa ba si egbero wan kem fon men me gbero Jehovah Witness be da ye ke Jehovah Witness ni e ko ndo hebo ya enam se bana antenam. You should know that, you know, Jehovah Witness they do strict. But if the group hebo hana se antenam, you know ke do tough. So don't consider living with a man and have children inside that marriage. Then I care about ya phone. It going to it work and you need that blessing. No matter what, you really need that blessing. All right. So food taboos, mbiam. That's again. Certain foods are considered in specific contexts. For example, pregnant women are often restricted from eating specific foods believed to be spiritually harmful or can cause complications during childbirth. Oh yes. Even Bible let you wanna sang can made up. He go say boy ya kung wong kai kai. Ben fana ya kere wan ke fa kai kai na do mo da tem bang diko. At si barari ka ki koi. Okay. So some clans of or individuals are restricted from eating specific animals. And that may be considered totemic or spiritually significant to the family or community. I've discussed that. Taboos around menstruation and childbirth. Iban, Moiba, you didn't know. Iban, what do Midenko. What do So in some cases, women are considered ritually unclean during menstruation. I can answer that. And childbirth. And there are taboos around their participation in religious or community activities during this time. So I forget that now. Even government, ban maternity leave. Government, ban maternity leave. And during this time, near menstruation. A woman that is honest. This time, it affects it affects his income. Because you are highly spiritual at that point. In fact, at that point, you are highly spiritual. And in many communities, and you say, menstruation, and you progress in many communities. But the only thing is, you don't cook. You don't cook. But I'm not sure of today. For me go to you you go to During this period, they may be excluded from entering sacred places or handling certain objects or cooking. And breaking this taboo can have spiritual consequences. And all these things are physical consequences. So, because some of these parts are those spiritual consequences. All right. And so, remember, what was in young for today? Then it wasn't but for a few things. From Mary Kingsley. Let me read this in English through. Page 215 of Life in Southern Nigeria. Ibibio, like most Nigerian peoples, are divided into age classes onka, the number of which varies from 3 to 10. When there are only 3 or 4 of these in a town entrance, is not permitted till the age of property, and the teeth have been filled under the town or tribe. So, in some towns or villages, they or property, or Avonia tribal map, Kogi State, it's a Renambungo, on Benue. In a map, a map. Before photo age grade, and I make sure Kimi was the age of property, and after amount paid. All right. So, as a rule, there is no special ceremony except a feast given by the parents, and in some cases, a present to the old men of the town. So, the marks consist of one or small circles of concentric rings cut at the side of the face from the temple downward. Usually a mixture of ground charcoal and palm oil is rubbed into the cut to make them more conspicuous. So the number of circles depends upon the tribe, town, and age class, and this varies from 1 large to 4 small ones. In some cases, traditional circles are cut between the eyebrows. The 2 front incisors are generally filled into points so as to form an inverted V. Male and female never mix. Of course, that's true. And each tries all minor cases and settles any dispute between its members. So male and female can never mix. I repeat again. A town is composed of a number of quarters or even sometimes several miles distant from one another, each of which is divided into scattered compounds. Each large town was independent and ruled by its chief. I discussed this, helped by sub-chiefs, of whom each quarter had at least one, or in some places by the head, juju priest. Generally, a chief or sub-chief was succeeded by a member of the same ruling family, usually his eldest son, if he is of age and possess of common sense. I mean, if you're keyword, we know, no matter how great respect was shown to age, and no decision of any moment, whether in judicial or political matters, was given save the presence and with the concurrence of the old men of the town. So this old system is still retaining essential, and the people may be said to have almost complete self-government. 1863, this edition on come again. Except that a certain amount of European superstition is exercised, and human sacrifices and other customs repugnant to British ideas are no longer permitted. British wood system. So the influence also of the Great Society, like ekpuk, idiom, and ekpuk has been considerably curtailed. S1, MI1, in cases of murder, the guilty man was, according to local custom, either ordered to hang himself, beheaded by the ekpuk Nyoko society. So, beaten to death with clubs or killed in the same way he killed the victim. Among the Eket Anang and most northern Ibibio, a sum of money was often accepted if the chief or parents of the murdered man were willing to receive it. The same way so ibo nyeke wori de memo ikpong kenanga bi nem menye bere na make sure ki mi wori de memo. Anyone guilty of manslaughter was ordered to pay the expenses of the funeral, and in some places to give the chief a present of 400 manilas. Ibibio might come and call manilas and a coat in addition. Among the Oran, he also had to serve the family of the deceased as a slave. So I'm going to make the Quran culture. Kenya yabu woro then young get family me woro asab ntifon. So now sa itie yani song mi gine meka nye ridong. So anye ya kanna ado ifon on family e wo nyeke wotodo. Are you listening, somebody? Cases of wounding or serious assaults were usually punished by the infliction of a fine of 1 gut and 100 manilas, divided between the chiefs and town people, and the necessity to tend the wounded man and defray the cost of all medicines till his complete recovery. So, after cock, say for be no, you come and maybe many cow for you, but all sober to tunana the okbanye, a bit of he wouldn't for. And a ya no, a boat kid. No, Manila said 100. In most places, a thief was robbed over with charcoal and ashes and taken around the town. I mean, if you're about Tom Border, some of the village, MIC, a year Wurunkan, a year in Ipo, Isen, a yen Ganica, Emian Ganica, even in Yedo Urwa. Aha, now you look about and Emma Nam Borema. The crowd will be cheering, singing and abusive songs. So in northeastern Ibibio land, he was only fined a goat, which was handed over to the chiefs and was forced to refund the stolen property or its value. And inveterate thieves was almost everywhere sold into slavery. So in onyedo, eya nyamanyedo as a slave. Eya nyamanyedo as a slave. So we yameri iko. Cases of adultery were tried in some places by the husband. In other words, the village chiefs and the general public punish the culprit by inflicting a fine of 1 coat and a fowl or tortoise, some areas, which was sacrificed in purification before the ancestral shrine. Sometimes a sum of £1 to £5 was demanded in addition. While among the Endang, as with many other of their brothers in Ibibio, if the judgment was not carried out, the husband or some member of his family would try to have intercourse with one of the corresponding relatives. Abiakbo treated the fine as a debt and sold the debtor if unable to pay. So, Eya Nyamaguru. Eya Nyamanyet to another family, any excuse. All right. In the case of adultery with a betrothed girl, The fiance generally imposed a small fine and had the right to refuse to carry out the marriage and to have refunded any part of the dowry which he had already paid. Rape seems to have been rare. Now rape can work by then. And curiously enough, among Southern Ibibio was hardly more expensive than adultery. Rape, amado, expensive, agana, adultery. In the north, however, the guilty man was sold into slavery. So debt was very common and often treated as a lever to turn the debtor or one of his family into a kind of slave. A usual way of settling his liabilities was for a man to marry off a sister or daughter upon himself. Among the naked, a man often had recourse to the ekpuk or idiom society, the members of which would in turn, for a fee, seize a debtor's property, and if necessary, even his land, to the amount of the debt, and hand them over to the creditor. A debtor was usually sold into slavery. So, mutilation was not practiced, save if a slave among the ufok or a son among the wicked and committed adultery with his master's or father's wife, in which case his ears were usually cut off. Mutilation. Well, among these tribes also, a person who stole more than once or twice generally had his toes chopped off. In almost every case, in anyone accused of an offense had the right to invoke a judicial appeal to trial by ordeal. In the first case, a certain time was fixed. I think I will have to repeat this next week. So, yang ko de tugi tiemi. Yang ko de tugi tiemi dondofu. So we will have part 2. So actually, yang yak for part 2. The people of Idwasang, again, may not eat the neck or loins of a goat. Idwasang, nor the flesh of any antelope. That is Idwasang. Because Mbakara mi etongo wet. Ke clan bose miki na yaita. There seems to be some vague legend that the founder of a tribe was suckled by an antelope. So a similar story is told about the brother of a man who has been in employment for several years, a Bonese from the North Cameroons named Mandara. The following is the account taken down from his own lips. Right, next week. So you hear all that. Say, Egezita, you say, we'll meet there. And I will IT. So you hear more. And I will be able to give you a rudimentary analysis of some of the places Akwa Ibom. All right, my brother Ubon Wutong. Me and party got me. Yani mbanam mefujiti. So no me and party got me. Thank you for your okay, me young in Amco 104.5 FM Atlantic FM. That's great. Oh well, all right. Yes, last week it took bara waga yep ukamawu. Eyere yengang gidim. You know, you come out. Yebium. Okay, word. All right. So with all this overall confirmation, I believe that can be my phone for today. Junior, my dear brother. Patience Udeme, someone for your contribution all through this program. Mary Charles Basi, thanks so much. Ime Ekpo. The dictionary. Ke your email. All right. And then, this is all met right 80. It's also 80. So, me come after frefrewu by Mondito, Aquaibu. Siki wana, Kedis program. Mbo is also 80. Asiere, Mbufo.
Ginin